guys, and welcome back to Couch Critics. I'm Lamia,
And I'm Ruby.
and today we're gonna review
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo. I was gonna say Moana. Yeah, same vibe, but it's
Same
not
vibe,
the
yes.
same.
I've never watched. Oh yeah, I actually did watch Moana, but yeah, same
Is
vibe.
it? I didn't.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we're gonna review Lilo and Stitch.
Yes, the live action.
The live action just came out, I think, a few weeks ago, and we've watched it last
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
So I personally had never watched the original, and I know I've heard a lot of people were complaining about the movie, about how it's not true to the original. But I just have to say, from my personal opinion, watching it as like as an independent movie, like something that has nothing to do with something else, was really good. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I have never seen the animation before,
Yeah.
and I loved the movie. And that made me think, like, maybe these movie adaptations, these live actions, aren't aimed towards people who liked the
Yeah.
animation. Maybe
Yeah.
it's something that only people who haven't watched it should watch,
Yeah, or
just
like
to catch up on, like what they didn't see.
exactly, or like for people just to keep an open mind and
Yeah.
see it as like a movie, like with a beginning and an end, and just remove all their prejudice about the other like
Yeah.
previous movies.
Because if you have nothing to compare it to, how could you be disappointed unless the movie really sucked?
Yeah, and also I feel like, since there's a big gap between these different adaptations, sometimes like the societal norms change, so it's okay to change a bit in the movie
Yeah.
so that it adapts more to the current situations, to like people, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
worth that.
and also I have to say that I went into this movie with very, very low expectations, especially after watching The Lion King,
Yeah,
which was the last live action that we watched, and
yeah,
it was really disappointing.
yeah,
So maybe that helps too.
yeah.
So Lilo and Stitch is about Lilo. She's this 6-year-old who lives in Hawaii with her sister,
Yes.
and the reason why they live together is because their parents died. So her sister has to take care of her, and so Lilo is um how could I say, not a troubled kid, but she just does a lot of, she causes a lot of trouble.
She's a troublemaker. I was
She's
gonna
a
say troubled
troublemaker,
kid.
yeah. And so she's having a hard time making friends and just like, being uh, not causing any trouble. And that stops when she meets Stitch, which is an alien who comes from space and who pretends to be a dog in order to not get captured by the people who created him, who are also trying to find him. They just follow him back to Earth to capture him, and we follow the flourishing of that friendship between Lilo and Stitch,
And I love how Stitch was also a troublemaker, and like
Yeah.
Stitch was literally a troublemaker. He was created for destruction and everything, and the fact that it felt like two negatives make positive, like they both influence
Yeah.
each other. And
But I feel like Stitch almost tamed Lilo. Like she was the one trying to
yeah,
convince him to not do,
Yeah.
bad things and to not break stuff.
I was thinking about it during the movie because Lilo was usually the youngest, the ones who would cause the most trouble, but having to be responsible of someone else who causes too much trouble, I felt like this gave her a lot of responsibility to be like exactly to be more mature, to be more quiet and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they filmed this movie. I think they filmed it in Hawaii. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, because last week I said too many wrong facts and we got dissed. But yeah, I think they filmed
It's
it
a
in Hawaii.
discussion. This podcast is a
Is
discussion.
we're not professionals,
we're not-
obviously. But yeah, I felt very immersed in Lilo and Stitch's universe, and it just felt like being on vacation. And it made me think of a lot of movies that were filmed by the beach, and it made me think of Soul Surfer with Anna Sophia Robb.
Didn't watch
A
it.
different vibe. It's a shark movie, but like it was filmed in Hawaii too. But yeah, It felt like a vacation.
Yeah. You know what movie it reminded me of? I completely forgot the name. We reviewed it. It was the indie movie for the director of Enora, the one with the girl and her mother.
Florida Project.
The Florida
Yeah,
Project.
same.
It really reminded me of it because at some point the sister was, I mean, the whole movie, the sister was fighting to keep to stay responsible of Lilo. And at the end, we see Lilo running away when she knows that her sister is now lose custody. So it made me think, is Stitch, was Stitch her imaginary friend for her to deal with the whole situation?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it really reminded me of the Florida
That
Project.
would have been a really good way of, adapting, of making a live action. Not a live action. If you wanted to make a serious movie about
Yeah,
Lilo and Stitch, this
yeah,
is how I would approach it.
yeah,
I would take a kid and like just make Stitch be an imaginary friend.
yeah.
And yeah, that's such a good idea. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like future, like for Disney's future adaptations.
Yeah, don't steal our ideas.
Or hire us.
Yeah, or hire us. But yeah, it also made me think of the Florida Project, just because the protagonist was a kid, and
Yeah,
I love movies about kids. I feel like they're so natural actors,
yeah,
and yeah, I don't think you can uh, s- add all the mimics and all the ways that they act on a script. I feel like they're just kids being kids, and that's so refreshing to see.
yeah.
But yeah.
I love the acting. I completely agree with
Mm.
you. For Lilo, for her older sister, everybody, there was a few jokes that just were a bit too like cliche, but overall, I felt like the acting was great. And Lilo, that young actress, her expression, her face expressions, she was so good. Like you could see the fear in her eyes. You could see like when she was scared,
Mm.
everything. I think she did a wonderful job. And it's so difficult for young kids to
Yeah.
be such good actors, so it's really impressive.
I also really like the older sister.
Yeah.
I feel like she totally sold the fact that she was trying to take care of her
Yes.
sister and that she
Yeah.
didn't want to leave her sister, and she was definitely in a bad position because, she's also a kid
Yeah.
and she should be able to go to college and to just work on herself. But at the same time, when you see her with her sister, you totally get the fact that she's has to take care of her
Yeah.
sister too somehow. So I love the ending. I love the fact that they both got what they wanted. They both got they both found a way to stay together
Yeah.
in a very unusual way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I found it fascinating. And I love their relationship.
Mhm.
And yes, I also love the ending. I love that the sister didn't have to make such big sacrifices towards her careers and her dreams.
Also, like I just feel like although we love this movie, I can't help but think, is it really a good movie or is it good because we haven't watched the animation? And
Yeah.
also it makes me think of like how many other live actions could Disney, it's not Disney who made this movie, but like Hollywood could make. It's just,
Was it
yeah.
Disney? Why did I have the
Was
feeling that
it
it was?
Disney? I don't
I
feel like
don't
it
know.
was Disney.
I don't know. We have, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to see the animation before saying that it was a great
I
movie.
really want to see the animation as well, but I think that that's also the beauty of it. Like,
Yeah.
let's take movies and judge them individually. Let's not have any expectations or anything
But
else.
can we like are we really judging them individually, or are we just ignoring the fact that there was an original
Yeah,
movie?
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's, although we like this one, I still stand by what we said during the previous reviews about live actions and how it is time to just like make new stuff and stop
yes,
like
yeah,
copying stuff that
yeah.
has already been made.
I mean, I still stand by the point that The Lion King wasn't the best movie. I think even
Yeah.
if I hadn't watched the original, I would have still have been disappointed because it felt like a movie for 10 years old. But
Mm.
with Lilo and Stitch, maybe it's because I cry a lot, but I actually cried during the movie.
Yeah.
Like it really, I found it very touching and there was a beautiful message behind it. And the relationship between the sisters was very
Mm.
heartwarming. So even though it's a kid's movie, it still was very, like, it still was fit for adults to watch and relate with it and like
Mm.
feel bad for the characters when things went bad, whereas with the Lion King we really didn't get that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Also, I really like the antagonists. The
Yes,
aliens.
the
I love
aliens.
the funny guy,
The
you
green
know,
one
the
with
green
one
one.
eye,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I loved his reaction when he found out that he got to stay um on
Yeah.
Earth. Yeah.
And their
Um
whole like body mimics were funny. Like
yeah.
when it was an alien, it was just moving in such a funny way. And when they were human, it was also very
And I
funny.
also love the fact they didn't demonize aliens, and
Yeah,
for like once the aliens were good people,
yeah,
and they just wanted what they just were respectful of humans.
yeah. And they wanted to protect them. Like
Yeah,
when Stitch was with a human, they couldn't hurt him. So, yeah,
yeah. I think that sums it up.
that's the summary. That's our review of Lilo
Mhm.
and Stitch. Let us know what you guys thought about it.
And please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.